we help send kids to Auburn and help people that want to go, that have the ability. And the ACT now, I couldn't get in. So, which is a good thing. We have smart kids going. We have great kids going. And out of that comes great kids back to Birmingham and this greater Birmingham area, and keeps us growing.
The Auburn experience is far-reaching and so much in variety. It's not just about sports. It's not just about the university residing in Auburn, Alabama. The Auburn experience, as many of you know who listen to our content, is about even stuff within this country, across this country, communities that come together to make up the Auburn family. And one of the great ways that you can get together with your Auburn family is through your alumni groups that congregate throughout many states and cities throughout our United States. And I would argue there's probably even groups across the world as well that get together to be part of the Auburn family. Today, we're excited here on E2C Network to talk with one of those groups. Most of you will know that Birmingham, Alabama is one of those very large cities, if not the largest city in Alabama, that has a lot of people, and of course, a lot of Auburn people and a lot of Auburn family members. Today, we're excited to talk to them about how they help connect you to the Auburn experience. And we are welcoming in our good friend, Mike Herron, president of the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club, to talk with us today. Mike, welcome to the show.
Hey, Kyle, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. It's a joy to talk to anybody who is in the Auburn family. But of course, we like to talk about specific topics related to of yourself and the Auburn Birmingham Club. So I'm excited to promote a couple of things that you've got going on that people need to be aware about in the Birmingham area this summer, especially when we're doing this show. But let's dive into first a little bit about you, because they got to know who you are, right? They got to know who we're talking to. Who's this guy hanging out with us today? So, Mike, why don't you give us a little spiel about yourself, your connection to Auburn as well?
Yeah, I started at Auburn when there was horse and carriage in 75. I was there until 78. I got involved with the Auburn Club, which was back then the Jefferson County Auburn Club. It goes back to the 40s. It was really just a football club at the time. My uncle, Scott Herron, was president. He said, "You need to get involved. We need young people. We need folks to run around and do some things. We need to have events and all of that." And so we started, I started with the club in the late 80s. We started trying to do different events like golf tournament. We started Kickoff, which was having the head football coach come and kind of get everybody excited about the upcoming season. We used to have it down at the Civic Center, and older people will remember that. And then just kind of trying to have events around Birmingham and create events that bring Auburn people together. And it's just a fun time when people get together. They see people they haven't seen in a long time. They talk about their experiences when they were, in Auburn. And we, in Birmingham have, unfortunately, a few things going on that bring Auburn to Birmingham in general.
Mhm.
So we try to embrace those things and really try to blow those up. And my goal this year, after being president in '96 and coming back, was to try to, after COVID and all the challenges that happened with people getting out and wanting to be involved in volunteer efforts with this. We're a volunteer club, but we are the alumni arm of Auburn in the greater Birmingham area. And so we, just things to get people together.
Mhm.
So,
And we all know exactly how much fun it is to get together with the Auburn family. So any excuse and any group that can organize that is good in my book. But it's especially awesome when you are connected with the, as you said, the alumni arm of that alumni group that helps keep everybody connected after they've graduated. Because as we like to say, I forget who to credit it to. I think it was maybe ESPN. They say never graduate.
yeah.
You may actually graduate with your degree, but in a way, you never leave Auburn, and Auburn never leaves you. And this is one of those great ways that you can do that. Birmingham obviously is very central in the state, which would make you think that it would be a fairly even split for Auburn and the people across the state.
I have some different terminology for that, but we won't use it here on the air.
Exactly. And here's the thing is I have family members that are from the other side. So we're obviously kind where we need to be, but we can have a little fun with them as well. But Birmingham, right in the middle of the state, you would think it's going to be split. In fact, even though the distances aren't exactly the same, pretty comparable if you go up 280 to get to Birmingham versus an interstate for the other side to get to Birmingham. You would think just as many Auburn fans would show up in there as Alabama fans. What is your take on the makeup of Birmingham in terms of the Auburn to Alabama dynamic, or just how do you feel like large the Auburn family's presence is in Birmingham right now?
I think Birmingham is a huge Auburn place. I don't think that we've ever taken advantage of it from an Auburn perspective.
Mhm.
And there's some legitimate reasons for that. There's also a bias in that from our side that we feel Auburn feels like that this has always been an Alabama town,
Mhm.
and it has been. Fortunately and unfortunately, I have the history and the age to go back and remember those times from the 60s to the 70s. And as Alabama became a football juggernaut nationally and locally, we were the ones that really took the hit here in Birmingham, being Auburn fans. It was
Mhm.
tough growing up, going to school and being made fun of that you were an Auburn fan because it was so easy to just join up
Mhm.
with the other side. You have to go back to the Legion Field days, um, where Alabama was dominant. We were made to play our home game in Birmingham. We were treated like the stepchild. We were treated like a second class citizen. Even when it was our home game, we were not the predominant um, fan base in the stadium for a number of different reasons, and that was purposeful. And so when we did win, um, it was never as celebrated as it was in '89 and on. And
Mhm.
I think that goes to also, just on a side note, I always thought it was interesting that as soon as Auburn moved the game to Auburn, our home game, Alabama moved it to Tuscaloosa.
Mhm.
So there is some huge advantage of being on campus. Obviously, for us, it was a unbelievable advantage,
Right.
and it leveled the playing field for us in that game. If you look historically, after '89 and forward, before that, being an Auburn fan in Birmingham, you always felt like that this was an Alabama town. You would see businesses that advertised Alabama paraphernalia. People wore a lot more Alabama stuff. Uh, that was probably their wardrobe, but you just didn't see Auburn stuff. You just didn't see Auburn people, and I don't think as a group. This is a personal opinion. I think when you have engineers and architects, you tend to have a more conservative type of fan base. That's just the way you're built. And so for Birmingham, it meant that we just, even when we would win, it was kind of like we wouldn't really celebrate it that great. And so over the last, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, one of the things that we're trying to get out, Kyle, is Auburn takes in about 5,500 freshmen every year. That's who we allow in. We have an unbelievable waiting list to get into Auburn, but 5 to 5,500 go to Auburn, and 20% of that comes from this area.
Mhm.
And so within that, 1,000 people, we do a freshman send off that we'll do at our kickoff party in July the 25th, where we honor the freshmen going off and send them off. Auburn, freshman send off to Auburn. We also have a large amount of those kids coming back to Birmingham.
Mhm.
And so over the past 10 years or so, the split in Birmingham, to me, has leveled up with Alabama. I
Yeah.
think Alabama probably still has a greater number of fans in Birmingham and Greater Birmingham, but it's not far off for Auburn, and we've not taken advantage of that. And we are purposeful in what we're trying to do to grow that and we'll talk about that a little bit more later with the new building downtown.
Hmm.
But this new generation of Auburn people, they're fired up. They're out there. They're not sit back and take it people anymore. And so I'm excited.
Yeah, sounds like an exciting future for the Auburn family in general, but especially when it relates to Birmingham. I want us to get into talking about some of these events that you've got coming up, but just as a quick informational purpose for those people that are, because you call yourself the Greater Birmingham area Auburn Club, or the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club. So obviously, even people on the outskirts of Birmingham, I think they would fall under your purview. What is the best way for people who are not connected with you yet to get involved, to follow you? What would you say? Just, say I'm Kyle. Hey, Mike, how do I find out more information? How do I get involved with the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club? What would people need to do?
That's a great question, and it's changed through the years. Auburn, the Auburn alumni clubs now are totally volunteer clubs. There was a little bit of a struggle and friction in the past, where if you were a member of the Auburn Alumni Association, AAA, the National Association, why am I paying dues to Birmingham to be in that club? And so in around 2011, they changed that that part of the clubs to where we don't raise dues. And if you're part of the national, which we all want everybody to be part of the national club because it helps Auburn overall and Auburn University specifically. So we had to start to look at different ideas on what to do. So when people come to me and they say, and I get it all the time, people, I want to get involved in the club. Truthfully, the club is only events. We have a second Tuesday meeting that we have an open meeting, and we move it around. We're looking at trying to move it downtown to the new Auburn building, Auburn University in Birmingham building, which is, on 20th and 4th Avenue North. But we don't have a way of raising money unless people just want to donate money. Our club exists specifically now for fostering the Auburn spirit in the Greater Birmingham area, but then secondarily, we raise money. We have 9 endowed scholarships at Auburn that we give out to people that are either going to Auburn or at Auburn in different aspects of those endowments. And that just to be transparent, through the history of the club, we've raised over $675,000.
Mm.
The book value of that in the Auburn Fund at Auburn is over $1 million.
Wow.
So off of the interest of that fund, we gave about 22 scholarships last year to incoming freshmen, a commitment to people that are already going to Auburn on a 4-year scholarship. Those different types of dynamics that Auburn sets those parameters and picks those people. We do not. We have no say in who gets them. So, but that's the goal of that. And so within that framework of being in a volunteer club, we have to do events that raise money. And my thoughts on it were, we had gotten towards the end of the 2010s, 18, 19, before pandemic, of doing smaller events, which I think is, I can be critical as well as positive. Auburn and Birmingham tended to get, through the years of going after specific people, specific donors, individuals that have always given, and that's all they would go after. And so within the club framework, our club tended to start to do that too. We started to get small. We started to have dinners. And I'm like, we are the biggest Auburn area in the country. Mm-hmm. We have more alumni. We have more fans. We were the Jefferson County Auburn Club. We grafted in Shelby County because we were doing so many things in North Shelby, and that was growing. And so we grafted them in. And then we are reaching out to Walker, Blount, and St. Clair because of what I said before. When they took away the dues aspect of these clubs, then those smaller clubs lost the ability to raise money. And so they just kind of went away. Yeah. And we're trying to reach out to them. We are the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club. We want to bring them in. We want them to have opportunities to do things in events and participate and come see ambush that's coming up in next Tuesday at the Finley Center in Hoover, and it's a big pep rally with Coach Pearl, Dylan Cardwell, John Cohen. We'll have the Jeff Graba, the gymnastics coach. We're going to have the ladies, the golf coach. Albie will be there. The cheerleaders will be there. I want it to be a huge pep rally. Bring your kids. Bring the strollers. Come in, get a picture, get your face painted. Listen to Coach Pearl. Listen to John Cohen about our national champion golf team. Keep feeding us, Auburn, in Birmingham. Let us be connected to your people so they feel more connected to y'all. And in the framework of that, we help send kids to Auburn and help people that want to go, that have the ability. And the ACT now, I couldn't get in. So, which is a good thing. We have smart kids going. We have great kids going. And out of that comes great kids back to Birmingham and this greater Birmingham area, and keeps us growing. So that's a long-winded answer.
It's a great answer, because it just, reflects the cycle of how this works and why this is a family, because, the university is feeding people back to you, and you're feeding people into the university through your endowment fund, and bringing people back to the Birmingham area, getting invested in the community of Birmingham, not even outside of Auburn stuff, but obviously reconnecting with their Auburn roots and, valuing that Auburn experience. You brought up the ambush event. Obviously, you gave a few details about that. That's something that's been going on for a while now, and it seems that they go to a few major hubs, and Birmingham, obviously, if there was any question that Birmingham is a major hub for Auburn people, ambush comes to this. For the last several years, it feels like it's been going on now. Bruce Pearl, you brought up, A.D. Cohen is going to be there, several other coaches. I got to imagine that this is just becoming an even more popular event the longer it goes on for you guys.
Yeah, it's something they move around. Interestingly enough, we're the first on the tour. Then they're going to Lake Martin, and then they're going to Texas. In the same day, they're going to do an ambush event in Houston, and they're going up to Dallas. Okay. And one thing that a lot of us have been pushing for a long time is that Auburn has got to expand its base.
Yes,
Alabama's not a big state. And we're not the predominant school in this state from a fan base. And although you could question whether financially we are, and I think we're on a fairly equal footing with the other. But when you start to pull in Tennessee, the Nashville club is doing a lot of great things. Atlanta's starting to do a lot of great things. And then you look west, and I have friends in Dallas. I'm a partner in a business in Dallas, and it's amazing the Auburn people that will see my little logo when I come in off the plane, and War Eagle, and there are a ton of businesses out there that Auburn needs to tap into in this new world, in this new environment of fundraising and NIL, and just trying to renovate buildings and do different things on the campus. It's not athletics specific. Auburn is starting to look and doing things that will do that. And I'm excited for them coming to Birmingham and looking at a big pep rally to get as many people here, as many people connected, as many people to say thank you, Coach Pearl, in a basketball-related pep rally for what you've done for not only Auburn University to the SEC. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's no way Nate Oates is at Tuscaloosa if Bruce Pearl isn't winning at Auburn.
It's a fair point.
And a lot of other coaches that are coming in the SEC too. So he deserves a lot of credit, and probably should get a cut of a lot of the salaries from some of these coaches around the conference. But to move west and try to expand our reach, expand our brand. Auburn is I felt like, not to cast stones, but I felt like the 2013 national championship run that we went through. If you went to that game, and you went out to California, and you were in airports, and you heard the people were Auburn fans that were not from Alabama or Auburn. They love the school. They love the idea. They think it's unique. Bo, Charles, all of Frank Thomas, all of the different bigger than life athletes that we've produced through the years have people kind of looking our way. And so Auburn needs to look outside of itself. Auburn is a great ambassador, and they're the worst ambassador. They tend to get a little bit in a bubble, Kyle, and
It's
we
fair.
tend to stay down home. And when things are bad, we cover. We just pull in, and we're bigger than that,
Yeah.
and we're getting bigger than that.
I think the phrase would be you circle the wagons sometimes when it gets bad, and then you kind of reconnect within what you know and what you're comfortable with. But we can't forget about our Auburn family so far reaching. I think that's a great thing to bring up, even though we're talking about Birmingham specific stuff. It's important to bring up that the Auburn experience, the Auburn family, stretches far and wide.
Right.
And we experience that every day here at E2C Network, the topics and the people that we connect with. So I think that's a great thing to bring up to remind folks about why this Auburn family is so special and so far reaching as well. So we're looking forward to that ambush event coming up this Tuesday. Obviously, we're doing this very shortly before that, but it's not the only event that you can get involved with, especially this summer of 2024 with the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club. We've also got your kickoff event right before school gets going in this 2024 fall semester. Give us a little bit more information about that. Tell us what people can expect and when exactly that's going to happen.
That will be 1 month later, July the 25th. It will be football specific. It's kickoff. It's something, again, that goes back annually for this club to the 90s, where we would get coaches come and speak um, and just get everybody excited. Everybody's already excited. Everybody, if they're like me, I'm not a big recruiting, and good gosh, in this environment, recruiting all the time, 24/7, 365. I mean, we've got a chance at Juju, and people are calling me. I'm like, I don't even, who is Juju? But now I start to pay attention.
Yeah.
Who's coming? I know we need line. You start to really get into football. My dad was a football coach, and so I have a background in that as a youth, and in the coaching aspect of it, and filling the holes, and the how we're going to be at quarterback. And we went and got 4 really good receivers, and hopefully Peyton's going to do what he did at Michigan State. And now that he's got some people that'll catch it, and running backs, and you just start to pay attention in July,
Yeah.
and everybody's getting excited, and when's my tickets coming, and what games are we going to go to, and all those different things. And so we love kickoff. It's a big event for us. It's a great time to meet and let everybody kind of come together. Same thing, strollers and kids and footballs being thrown around, and the cheerleaders cheering, and Aubrey's running around, and we're talking about possibly getting the mic man up here, and and just making it like a football game, and getting everybody excited about what's coming up, because we hadn't lost a game, we hadn't won a game, so it's a great time to get ahead of it with the enthusiasm, the excitement. Coach Free's second year, I don't know anybody who's really not excited about him being here and what he can do, and
Yeah.
with him bringing in a number 7 recruiting class, which is amazing, and you can, like NIL, I don't know anybody that really does, but it's the world we're in. And the reality of the situation from us, and as we kick this thing off for this year, is that it allows us to get on a level playing field, a fairly level playing field with the Alabamas and the Georgias in a snap.
Mm-hmm.
And as we build on that, and we continue to do those different things under those guidelines, we all know something's going to happen. But if we can elevate our football game quickly, then we'll be in that mix when they do put guardrails on it. We won't be on the outside looking in, and so we want to celebrate that. We want to get the excitement. Auburn has got a tough schedule, but it is what it's been forever in my life. In Pat Dye Day, we had Amen Corner with Florida, Georgia, and Alabama to end the year, and and you can go back to conspiracy theories and all that, but that's tough. And but we pack that stadium out. We bring the crowd. We bring the loudness. We bring it being a tough place to play. You look on any of the national rankings of toughest places to play, Auburn's always in it, always at the top. And people love that. And they love to come down and they love to start to get to think about, hey, we're going to go. What about y'all? Let's go to the Finley Center. It's going to be the same type of event, 5 o'clock start. Let's go down there with our group. Let's talk about what games we're going to go to. Let's listen to a little bit of the coaching staff and have a beer and let the kids dance around and get their face painted. And so it's going to be a tremendous event.
Pep rallies, Aubie, coaches, football. I don't know how it doesn't get much
It
better.
doesn't get any better. It doesn't.
Sounds like a great event that you, the Auburn family, can get involved with from the Greater Birmingham area. And especially for those of you, I talk to you all the time here on our content about how you're trying to make it through the doldrums of summer. July will get you through it, and Birmingham is providing you one of those events to help you get over that last little hump till we actually have legitimate football to start talking about. So if you're interested, please do go check that out and be part of their kickoff event coming in this July.
Yeah, and you talked a little bit too about doing some things, getting involved in the club. And one of our goals here is a lot of people can't go to the games, and so we want to do. Birmingham's a unique city in the fact that we have 38 municipalities that surround the central city. And within that framework, you have people that don't want to drive certain places. Last year, we had, in the basketball season, we had watch parties at Back 40 downtown. But if you live in Chelsea or Clanton or Jasper or Pell City, you don't want to drive down and then have to turn around and drive back. So we're going to have watch parties, and we're trying to locate people who are interested in these different areas of hosting it on behalf of our club. We'll get you shakers. It seems like there's a Buffalo Wild Wings in every corner of our city. And just let us come in, have a corner. We'll get some shakers. We'll give out some stickers and things like that where people can go and gather and watch a game on a big screen in a different community. And so we want to spread those out and have them in Hoover and Vestavia and Gardendale and all as many as we can do that, again, can get Auburn people together and watch football games. So if people are interested, and I know for Ambush, let me give you a site if you want to go to Ambush on Tuesday night. We created a ambushbirmingham.org. So you can go there and get tickets. $25 for adults, 5 to 12 is 10, under 5 is free. And then we have a VIP room for an hour with Coach Pearl and the different coaches. So you can get upstairs and you can go on the site and get that and register for that. And the pricing will be pretty much the same going into the kickoff party also. And we'll have kickoffbirmingham.org for that. And we haven't announced that. We're just going to get past Ambush first, and then we'll start hitting that heavy on the airwaves and let people get in and get connected on that. Again, with watch parties and doing events and get involved with our club, it helps us get connected to Auburn people in the Greater Birmingham area. Let them get involved in different events and let them know what's going on.
Yep.
And so you can go. I know we're not wrapping it up, but you can go to go to Greater Birmingham Auburn Club in any social platform, and it'll take you to Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok. I mean, we've tried to get on everything you can get on. So just to get information about what's coming up and how you can get connected and get involved in Auburn events around Birmingham.
You were prepared, my man. I knew you'd have all the information there, and I was like, he's going to bring it in without me even prompted. So there you go. If you are looking for information in the Birmingham area about how you can get connected with this club, you've just gotten it all from Mike. And so many things to look forward to throughout the summer, whether it's Ambush, the kickoff event, eventual watch parties coming up this season. There is a plethora of opportunities for you, the Auburn family, to get connected with the Auburn family in Birmingham. As our final topic, we talk about the Auburn experience here. And yes, we don't ignore that sports is king, football is king, as we just were talking about, but it goes beyond that. And one of the things that's important to building an influence in an area and building that community, even in a larger city that already has a lot of Auburn people like Birmingham does, is making investments outside of sports as well. And I think that's what has happened here with the Auburn in Birmingham building downtown. A little bit of information for people about that, and Mike can correct me if I've got any of this wrong. But this project technically began in 2018, and after some back and forth, after a 6-year process, it eventually was completed and is a new home for some academic stuff for Auburn University. A true university Auburn present, not just about fandom and stuff like that, but academics. It's going to be a permanent home for the Urban Studio in college architecture, design, and construction, a new Birmingham presence for the Harbor College of Business, and space for the provost office. And I'm sure there's even stuff that's planned or been discussed that we're not even privy to yet. But what it sounds like, Mike, is the investment is not now just being made about sports and fandom, but about academics as well in Birmingham.
Absolutely. Truthfully, this concept goes back to the 90s, where we talked with Auburn at that point about having a physical presence in Birmingham. And it was always at the forefront of each administration. And then it just kind of got pushed to the side. And then finally, like you said, around 18 and at the, with the support of Harvard Business School, they bought the Hood McPherson old furniture store downtown on 4th Avenue and 20th Street North, and renovated the whole thing. I got to go through it with Jeff Long, who's with the Harvard School of Business, and it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous. And 6 floors. The architecture school has the 2 middle floors. They have students in there during the school year that are doing that. The 2 top floors are for business, and they're working on, attracting different types of businesses to come down there. I'm pushing. I'll get a plug in for us, for the Birmingham Club to have its headquarters there, along with an alumni association presence, with the idea of pushing a job search opportunity.
Yeah.
Because again, if we can get a little bit of segment, we can get resumes, we can get new graduates, we can get corporations, and we can connect them to different, obviously what I've talked about before with the ACT, who's coming back. These are smart kids.
Yeah.
And you can get a world of workers that are extremely talented, and we want to help facilitate that. But on a bigger scale, for me, just in an emotional standpoint, to go downtown and you turn the corner and you go down 4th Avenue, and on the side of that building, it has a huge marquee that says Auburn University. That's lit, it's beautiful, and it's in Birmingham.
Mm-hmm.
And so we, as far as Auburn is concerned, in my mind, and don't ask my wife, she'll give you a whole different story on that. But I think that Auburn University has an opportunity to probably reach across the aisle to UAB in their medical presence and their obviously large presence in the city of Birmingham, to start to talk about doing some things that helps Birmingham elevate itself. I don't know if you got a chance to watch the Major League Baseball game last night. Fox Sports did a great job of highlighting Rickwood Field and the history of baseball in Birmingham, the numbers of unbelievable athletes that have come through the Negro League, the area, and what they're trying to do over there. And I know the mayor and the city council are trying to do a lot of things, and I think Auburn can be a catalyst and an integral part of helping that opportunity also within the framework of the city of Birmingham. And now's the time to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Birmingham got a great national focus last night. Unfortunately, and fortunately, with the death of Willie Mays, it added a different aura and a different focus on the city of Birmingham. Yeah. And you can't. You're in marketing. You're in advertising. You're in all. You have to take advantage of that when it happens. And as I said back in 2013, I don't think Auburn took advantage of where we were nationally, because it just came out of the blue. And that's typically, Kyle, the way it works, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, things happen. Something happens. There's a catalyst. There's a a different event that goes on, and all of a sudden you have an opportunity to be thrust in the limelight, and you have to grab it and go with it because it doesn't come along very often. And for us, having a building, a physical presence where people drive and they see
Hmm.
Auburn University in Birmingham, and I'm trying to get with Auburn in another aspect and get some merchandise to where I don't know who could make this work, but I want to have, shirts and hats that say AU, and then the B would have Albee on top of it with Vulcan's light.
Oh, wow.
And let's do something fun with this thing, and uh, I, we're here to help. We're here to, like I said, I think we can help Birmingham, and I think through that we can help Auburn University. So I'm excited about that building. If you get a chance, if you're in Birmingham, call the Harvard Business School. If you've got a business and you're interested in putting it somewhere, go down there and take a look at that place. You'll be in. It's an immaculate and impressive place.
And as you pointed out, taking advantage of any opportunities, anything that's going on in the world, you got to have a foundational presence somewhere to fall back on so people know where to come to, where to gather. So for academics, this building and just a presence, as you said, for the university, the name Auburn in Birmingham, that's a great thing. And so that's an encouraging sign of Auburn's continual interest in investing in the community of Birmingham. And that's a great thing for your club, but it's a great thing for the Auburn family as well, as we continue to expand and grow together and show the world why this is so special and why it's not cliche when we call it the Auburn family. Mike, we have covered a variety of things about the
Yes,
we have, which is why I love doing stuff like this, because everybody thinks, oh, you just got one angle to talk about. No, it's so much deeper than that. We have covered a little bit about the Greater Auburn, the Greater Auburn Birmingham Club, and we have also talked about your events, the ambush events, the kickoff event, and this new Auburn in Birmingham facility down there. So again, if you guys want more information, I'll let Mike one more time plug your social media just to remind people where they can keep up with you guys.
Yeah, our website is theGBAC.org. That's the Greater Birmingham Auburn Club, GBAC.org. Or you can go to ambushbirmingham.org for tickets Tuesday. We're still, I don't know if you've been to the Finley Center in Hoover. It is huge. So we take all comers,
Yes.
strollers, walkers, which I may have mine. And so we're looking for that. And then kickoff birmingham.org for the kickoff. You can go to our website. You can go to any of the social media platforms that you have and put in Greater Birmingham Auburn Club. It'll take you to all of those different things. It's a great way to interact. And we do have one other event coming up in October, and that's our DAD event, which is Distinguished Auburn Dinner that we've had for a number of years now. We honor an academic person that has come through Auburn. We honor an athlete, and we honor a philanthropic somebody who's been out in the society and doing a lot of things for Auburn. The three people we have this year are with Village Dermatology, Sombrero. We have Frank Thomas as our athlete. So come get the big hurt. We just put a statue up for him. And we have Raymond Harbert. So
awesome.
Three big, huge Auburn people that we do this. It'll be at the club. It's a black tie event. It's really a flashy, upscale event that honors some people from Auburn. We get a lot of the Auburn University people that will come up. So watch that. That'll be on social media. We'll be plugging that. And Kyle, I can't thank you enough for letting us come on and let me run my mouth.
Oh, it's always a joy. And I love people that run their mouths because it's an easier job for me. No, you have been a joy to talk to. And it's great to hear how invested you are personally, but the club is, and Auburn is becoming more in the city of Birmingham. And hopefully one day we'll be able to talk about that Auburn actually took over the city of Birmingham in the future.
While I'm alive.
While we're all alive. We'll look forward to that. Mike, thank you so much for joining us in War Eagle.
Thanks, Kyle. War Eagle.